Contente, t'as foutu la merde dans toute l'équipe.
T'as dit à certains que c'était mieux que je sois licenciée parce que sinon ce serait eux.
J'ai jamais dit ça.
Tu n'as pas de cœur.
Hi, welcome to What the Flick. Christy, Bibbs, Alonzo. We're talking about a movie that came out last year, real briefly for an Oscar qualifying run. It is the latest from the Dardennes brothers, 2 days, 1 night, starring a legit movie star, Marion Cotillard.
Marion Cotillard. This is the first time they've really had kind of a big name, unless you're a Jeremy Renier fan, in one of their films. The Dardennes brothers tend to work in very sort of naturalist working class settings, which is the case here. Marion Cotillard plays a woman who has taken time away from a factory job to deal with her depression. And in her absence, her bosses have decided that, well, geez, 16 people can do the work of 17 as long as we pay them some overtime occasionally. And her co-workers have voted to have her get laid off so that they can all get a €1,000 bonus. But it turns out the circumstances of that election were a little shady, so they're going to have a revote on Monday, which gives Cotillard's character 1 weekend to go see everybody she works with and plead for her job. It's pretty wrenching. Take a look.
Pourquoi tu veux pas essayer? Tu dois pas te laisser faire. Faut y aller. Avant de choisir leur prime, ils ont hésité, ils ont pensé à toi. C'est pour ça qu'il faut aller les voir un par un ce week-end.
Excusez-moi de vous demander ça, mais pour moi c'est important de le voir parce qu'il peut m'aider à pas perdre mon travail, à pas aller au chômage.
La prime, nous, c'est parce qu'on a bossé qu'on l'a.
Mais je sais.
T'as pas honte, franchement, de venir nous piquer notre fric? Non, je la ferme pas, dégage.
Il y en a déjà combien qui acceptent de perdre la prime?
4 avec toi. J'en ai encore 9 à voir.
Tu vas y arriver, j'en suis sûr.
De tout ce temps gâché et de tout ce temps perdu, dire qu'il y a tant d'êtres sur la terre qui, comme moi, ce soir sont solitaires. J'allume une cigarette.
Does this happen? Is that a thing?
Well, that's a good question. I found the plot premise really contrived. Does this happen in Belgium? If you are a Belgian viewer, please write in and tell us. I don't know.
No, I bought it. I think there are sort of unionized workplaces where I think people do get to vote on this stuff. It's a Europe thing. I accepted the premise.
Damn socialists.
I accepted the premise and went with it. And I think it's an interesting setup for this situation that she finds herself in, where, for one thing, this is not Norma Ray. Like, she is not only having dealt with her depression, she's still actively, she's
very shaky,
battling this and popping Xanax and
yes.
just like she's very fragile. So having to go around to all these people that she works with and basically kind of plead her case, and she has to sort of plead the same case over and over again, and you have to watch her do it over and over again, which you start feeling bad for her because you know the speech and you know that she's got to make it again, and so then just dealing with the whole notion of these other people who are like, look, I got nothing against you and you're great and whatever, but I really need the €1,000 because this is the world we live in right now. And so her ability to kind of find compassion among some people and a complete shutdown among others, I think it's really fascinating, and I put this movie up there with the kind of films that we've been seeing about what today's economy is doing to us as humanity. I would put this alongside something like a Nightcrawler, even.
That's an interesting double feature.
They're very different films, right?
Very different film.
But and you mentioned that she has to go door to door, schlepping across town to make the same plea over and over again. There is a certain repetitiveness to that. There's a certain numbing element to that.
But all intentional, I think.
Right? No, but then there's an element of surprise with each person. There's a slight bit of tension. I mean, this is a very, if you've seen any Dardennes films, like this is a very Dardennes-ish Dardennes film in that. I mean, it's all the long tracking
I love
shots
the moon's over my hammy at Dardennes.
No, but it's like, you've totally thrown me off. I forgot what I was going to say.
The most Dardennes-ish.
Yeah. I mean, it's just the natural lighting, and it's so stripped down. And
there's no score.
No, there's the inherent gimmick this time of, we're putting a movie star through the ringer, and Marion Cotillard, she's so brave. She's not wearing any makeup, and she's walking around in like flimsy tank tops and her bra straps hanging out. But she is always compelling to watch. So she makes each of these encounters, engaging, sad, but there is there's a quiet to it, and there's a lull to it, and I like a lot of their films. This did not do it for me the way a lot of their films do.
To be honest, this is the first Dardennes Brothers movie I've ever seen.
Okay.
That's
You've
one
seen
of my.
them all now.
You're off the show. Off the show.
And I know, no, that's a big failing on my part. I had not been assigned to review one before, and just they kind of fell between the cracks for me. So I'm kind of operating from what I know about what it is that they do and what they're famous for. I found this really effective, and maybe if I'd seen other movies, I would have think that.
It's like if you saw Casino before Goodfellas.
Sure, exactly. I totally
yeah.
grant. Where I'm coming from is not somebody who's seen what's in their bag of tricks. So maybe this is everything, and it's all.
This is their bag of tricks.
Okay.
The difference is you have a major movie star stripping herself down.
Right. Now, but here's the thing. I don't. You know, the thing about she's so brave. That's I think some stupid critics have been saying. I don't think they.
I don't think that. That's the notion out
right,
there.
No, exactly. But I'm saying I don't think the Dardennes are doing it. I don't think they're presenting her like, oh, look at her.
I think she's just a good actress.
I think it's just they're like, this is how we work, and she agreed to work with us, and this is, you know, we're going to put her in these outfits and with no makeup and whatever. She still looks like fucking Marion Cotillard. She just has a bra strap under her tank top.
She's on the bus.
Yeah.
She's on the bus
Madness.
this time.
Right.
I haven't seen this one yet, and so you may be wondering why I'm here. But I do say that, you know, knowing the other Dardennes Brothers films, I so love this concept because a lot of their work is about sort of working class empathy and the way that people get sort of isolated in themselves and whether or not they choose to connect or even give a crap about anyone else. The Kid with the Bike, for example, one of my favorite films of the last couple of years, was all about here's a kid clearly needs help. He's not a adorable ragamuffin, but he's clearly got issues, but he needs someone to care about him, and no one can be bothered. And here it's a matter of you have to, like, if you had to go to people who really don't care about your well-being, they don't dislike you, but they don't care about your well-being.
They don't wish you harm.
They don't wish you harm,
They
but
have to survive,
why
too.
do they have to go out of their way to take care of you? You're not family. And the idea of, like, how much of a society are we? How much do we really love our neighbors? And that sounds very dramatic to me, and it sounds like you thought it was just overdone.
No, underdone. Actually, no, quite the opposite. Yeah,
Okay.
there's a repetitiveness to it, and yes, it has some poetry in its quiet moments when people come through for her. Not everyone does. Every door she knocks on is a crapshoot. You have no idea what's going to happen, and so there are some individually moving moments here as far as the responses that she gets from these people. I don't know why this didn't work for me the way most of their films do.
I'll tell you one thing.
I'm in the minority. I know that.
I'm not going to spoil it, but this movie has one of the best endings I have seen in a movie in a long time.
It's surprising the way it plays
and
out,
I can't even go into detail about why I think it's so great, but I think it doesn't pander, and it stays true to the situation, and but it's also not just like the Lars von Trier ending either. It's brilliant, and like it should be shown to screenwriting students of like, this is how you end this kind of movie.
It's kind of uncompromising, I would say, in some ways. It's kind of honest and true in some ways.
Absolutely.
But not overly rah-rah feel good.
Exactly.
It finds a nice balance.
Yes.
There you go.
Well, we'll leave it. We'll leave it at that.
Leave it there. So what's your number then?
I gave it a 9.1. Okay. I was enthralled by this. I'm not even a big Marion Cotillard fan, and I really liked her.
Why?
She's left me kind of cold up till now. I didn't like La Vie en Rose that much. I didn't think she was. I found her very kind of off-putting in the two Nolan movies, but here I do love Forehead Tites on Funny or Die, if you've ever seen that. But,
yes.
But no, I
didn't
see The Immigrant, which I've heard is good.
This
But
is kind of similar to The Immigrant in that she is a woman in financial trouble who makes decisions for her family that put her in potentially humiliating circumstances. They're very similar in that way, whereas like James Gray's film is super melodramatic and lush visually. This is like
stripped down.
All stripped down. So they're similar in that.
This is
so
my
that's
kind of faith-based filmmaking, frankly.
I said 9.1 from you. I'm giving it a 7. I like it, I don't love it. I'm kind of mixed on it. So our average is an 8, right?
Yeah.
8.1. I don't know. I'll round up 8.1. So it's at like 94%. I mean, everyone loves this movie. You should see it. You should. I mean, you should. It's very affirming. It is.
I would like to. Someone threw away my screener. Whitney.
Go see it. Go pay actual money at the wherever it is.
You saw Woman in Black 2 twice.
I didn't want to.
I
did that out of responsibility.
All right. Thanks, guys. Bye.